The following program contains an all-you-can-eat philosophical buffet. If you suffer from mental indigestion, Randall may not be right for you. Check with your gastronomist.
Standing for truth in the four corners of America. Fighting for justice on the frontiers of the culture wars. And turning resistance into an art form. The man who creates social tension just by walking into the room, Randall Terry.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Almost witty, almost pretty, almost witty and pretty, but not gay. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. You're very kind. I love you. I love you. And I love you from Al Jazeera and Hezbollah. We're going to talk to you a lot today about those Israeli people. Folks, so much to talk about. And you know what's really crazy is you're going to get a lot of in-depth insight today on the Middle East and what happened over the weekend with Israeli soldiers being attacked by peaceful activists. That's item number one. Item number two, Bill Clinton fingered in the bribe to Joe Sestak. What did he offer him? We've got a special tape we're going to show you. And condemnation for Israel pouring in from around the world. It's to be expected. This was a moment of creative evil genius on behalf of those who came against Israel and those Israel attacked. Today's program brought to you in part by Mossad. If you attack us, we will kill you. And by the Israeli Defense Forces. If you attack Mossad, we'll kill you too. We've got a quick word from my friend, Captain Scurvy, and then analysis of today's show. Don't go out. Right back.
Ahoy, matey! Whilst I'm waiting for me check from British Petroleum, I've got some advice for the executives there. Go to the government and ask them for a bailout. Aye, if they're going to bail out the criminals at General Motors and Wall Street and the banks and the insurance industry, why shouldn't they bail out their fellow pirates at British Petroleum? And that monstrosity, Eric Holder, saying he's going to bring criminal charges against you. Ignore him. Go straight to Obama and ask him for a bailout. That's what a good pirate would do. Hi.
Welcome back to the program, friend. It is I, your servant, Randall. Hope that you had a great Memorial Day weekend, and I hope you had a chance to see and enjoy our Memorial Day special. If you didn't get to see it, go to cpnlive.com and check it out. We took a tour of the monuments here in Washington, D.C., where we live. It was actually quite moving. Now, as you know, the big news over the weekend is the confrontation that left 9 people dead between Israeli soldiers and peace activists related to the Muslim world. Before we do that, we've got one quick story we have to get out of the way, which has long political legs, and it's about to die in the news cycle, but it's going to keep coming back, and that, of course, is Bill Clinton. Yes, Bill Clinton. If you need a job done that's a little dirty around the edges, go to Bill. He'll do just about anything. We know now that it was Bill Clinton who offered the job to Joe Sestak. He did it at the behest of Emmanuel Ram, Obama's chief of staff, which means, of course, that Obama knew about it. Well, what we have to offer you today is salacious. With my contacts throughout the media and the political world, we were able to find footage of a camera and microphones in both Bill Clinton's office and Joe Sestak's office. Camera? Microphone? Salacious? Yes. We're going to let you see the conversation between Clinton and Sestak. You decide if Clinton actually bribed him.
Hello, Joe. It's me, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah, listen, I'm at the office in a big project, so I don't have a lot of time. Listen, Barry asked me to give you a call and offer you a job if you'd pull out of the race against Spectre.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
What kind of job?
Yeah, here's one of them. Czar of Vice.
Huh?
Yeah, czar of vice. It's a new position they're going to do. That whole prostitution thing out there in Nevada is working pretty good for fundraising for them. So he'd put you in charge of the whole vice thing. And trust me, the benefits are incredible.
Bill, I'm married.
Yeah, well, I am too. It's no big deal. Well, all right. Well, just think about it anyway. Okay.
No, I don't
I'll
think
talk
so.
to you.
All right, to the top story, probably for today, tomorrow, the next day. This is not going to go away for a while. Israeli soldiers killed at least 9 peace activists when they were off the coast of the Gaza Strip to bring medical care, perhaps some type of relief to the beleaguered people of Palestine. Now, I intend to take slow, deep breaths and to analyze this and hopefully to give you something that you can take away for the rest of the show. First of all, quick details. We know that there are at least 9 dead. Perhaps there are people missing. There were 686 people on board the ships, some of whom have already been deported out of Israel, some of whom may stand trial. There were 6 ships that were detained by the Israelis. The Israeli soldiers rappelled literally onto the ship with guns carrying rubber bullets. All right? The minute that they boarded, they were attacked. The moment that they boarded, they were attacked by men with chains, knives, crowbars, pipes. Now, no matter what you think about Israel perhaps falling into a trap, which is what I frankly think happened, this was planned from the beginning. Who has something to gain? We need to analyze this. First of all, do you understand that I believe all of the dead are Turkish? Most of the wounded are Turkish. What that means is that they got together ahead of time and planned this. And they said, the minute that the Israelis board, because they knew that they would board, we attack them. It's very likely that the Jordanian journalists and the people from the Philippines or Malaysia and the various countries that were on board had no clue what was going to happen. None. Did you know that Turkey is one of the only nations in the Middle East with full diplomatic relations with Israel? And did you know that Turkey is not a Muslim government? When the Ottoman Empire collapsed at the end of World War I, a man named Ataturk took control of the government in the early 20s and basically outlawed Sharia law. He actually executed Islamic men who refused to stop wearing the fez, that turban on the top of their head. He said, if you want to wear hair, it has to have a brim like Western hats. He was determined to break the back of Islamic law in Turkey. Well, he succeeded, but there has always been a group of Islamic militants who want to bring Turkey back to its former glory as a Muslim nation under Islamic law. So, with Turkey having normal relations with Israel, they are the odd man out in traditionally Islamic nations. So what happens? These Turkish Islamic militants have weapons. They attack the soldiers. They know that some of them might actually be killed, but they also know that it's going to put their government in a horrible quandary. And so what happens? Turkey withdraws its ambassador. Now, in the next segment, we're going to look at who has something to win, who has something to lose, who funded this, what was this all about? It was actually a very evil, brilliant move on behalf of those who are committed to war against Israel and war against the United States and all Western infidels. I've also got a new song for you called Sweet Muslim Crude. Oh yes, go to your filling station, pump in money to help pay for the murder of Americans. Don't go away, I'll be right back.
No, Randall wasn't at the Battle of the Alamo, and you wouldn't have been either if you were that sick.
And Jesus said,
You blind Pharisee, first cleanse the inside of the cup,
and of the plate, that the outside may also be clean. Amen. Welcome back to the program, friend. Have you noticed on the footage that was shown from the Israelis boarding that boat that it's all very choppy and very quick? Have you noticed? Did you know that only Turkey and Al Jazeera showed footage? Which means that lengthy pieces of footage were sent out and then clipped up. They didn't want to show the Israeli soldiers getting ambushed the minute that they got on that boat. Now, the question is this: who funded this? When you look at international terrorism, there are little proxy groups that are funded sometimes by states. I'm not saying what the people on the boat did was by definition of active terrorism, because I don't think it was, but it still functioned under the same principle. Unite the Arab world against the Jews. Unite them against the U.S. Unite them against the UN. Get Turkey out of the picture. Get all eyes off of Iran. This was dark, evil, political brilliance on the part of someone. And now everyone is falling right into the trap, condemning Israel, and all eyes are off of Iran and their nuclear program. Who funded it? Who has something to gain from it? I don't know. But if you think this was just a little peace mission that went awry, you're crazy. They were waiting with chains and knives and pipes and crowbars. And unfortunately, Israel fell into the trap. Here's a new song for you. I hope that you like the irony. It's a bitter pill. It's called Sweet Muslim Crude. Need some juice for your wheels. $4 a gallon, baby, keep it real. Fill her up, don't be sad. You made my cousin Akbar real glad. Made my cousin Akbar real glad. Keep buying sweet Muslim crude. Osama bin Laden wants to thank you, dude. The Taliban man needs guns and food, so buy sweet Arab crude, sweet Muslim crude. Hamas, Hezbollah, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, PLO, watch him blow. Got the money for the job from a stop and go. Got the money from a stop and go in Idaho. Keep buying sweet Muslim crude. Osama bin Laden wants to thank you, dude. The Taliban man needs guns and food, so buy sweet Arab crude, sweet Muslim crude. Oh, don't drill, don't baby drill. Got some infidel Americans we wanna kill. Allah be praised. And got the money for my training from the USA. Got the money for my training from the USA. Body bags, who cares? Just keep saving those polar bears. House of Bush, house of Sod. Getting filthy rich from the hand of God. Got blood on your hands. Keep buying sweet Muslim crude. Osama bin Laden wants to thank you, dude. The Taliban man needs guns and food, so buy sweet Muslim crude, sweet, sweet Arab crude.
And your platform will be no property taxes, no IRS, no Social Security, no abortion, and no homosexuals. Good luck with that, buddy.
And your camera tactics don't scare me.
The flame of Christian ethics is still our best guide. Only on this basis can we reconcile the rights of the individual with the demands of society. Sir Winston Churchill. Welcome back to the program, friend. One of the things that we're going to do with this show is to look at historic Islam, to dig, to mine, and to let Islam speak for itself. Not what we wish it was, not what certain moderates say that they want it to be, but simply what it is. Tunisian writer Mahmoud Abdul Mahwa stated that, quote, Islam is a political system. Hear that? A political system, inasmuch as it is a religious one. And by the way, I want you to know something. There's no standard transliteration from Arabic to English, Arabic symbols to English words. So English transliterations of Islamic words will vary wildly. Like the Quran will be spelled all kinds of different ways, Muhammad or Mecca. That's because there's just no standard transliteration from Arabic to English. Now, before we go any further in our study of Islam, we need to address the term fundamentalism as it relates to Islam. Our current popular media elite have sought to make a distinction between the peaceful religion of Islam and potentially violent Islamic fundamentalism. This distinction has absolutely no historical, theological, or cultural meaning in the Islamic mind. And moreover, it's a flagrant abuse of the meaning of the English word fundamentalism or fundamental. The New Webster's Dictionary defines the word fundamental as basic, essential, affecting the foundations of something. It's foundational, deep-rooted in a person or being part of the elementary nature of a thing. And fundamentalist as adherence to traditional beliefs of any kind. So in other words, when applying the term fundamental or fundamentalism to Islam, it means taking Islam back to its essentials, to its roots, to its elementary nature, and to adhere to the traditional beliefs of Islam. So when you say we have to fear fundamentalist Islam, what they're really saying is we have to fear the elementals, the basics, the foundations of Islam itself. Now, in the last century, we saw the term fundamentalist being used as a slur against certain Protestant schools of theology and used as a slur against Bible-believing Protestants. And then it became a pejorative against fundamentalist Catholics. Like when they reviewed Mel Gibson's film, The Passion of the Christ, they said, well, he's part of a deep fundamentalist Islamic or a Catholic school that rejects Vatican II and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, they talk about extremists and the dangers of people associated with religious fundamentalism. So we have current journalists distorting or ignoring the long-established meaning of the word fundamental, fundamentalism, and fundamentalist. Friends, when you see it, whether it's with Christians, Catholics, or Muslims, understand it's either a slur or it's a distortion. The word simply means you go back to the essentials. We're going to go back to fundamentalism, the essentials of Islam. I'll be right back.
How long, O Lord, wilt thou look on? Rescue me from their ravages, my life from the lions. Amen.
Hi, friend, I'm Randall Terry. George Washington said, it is impossible to rightly govern without God and the Bible. That would explain why Islamic governments who turn to the Quran and to the life of Muhammad cannot rightly govern, why they become tyrannical. As I mentioned in the last section, the most accurate description of faith in Muhammad's message, besides simply saying Islam, would not be the slur fundamentalist Islam. Maybe it would be Orthodox Islam, or perhaps historic Islam. The recent rise of a few scattered Muslim intellectuals who seek to divorce historic Islam and the Quran from the mission of world conquest or world subjugation have not altered the fundamentals or the foundation or the basics of the Islamic faith. And another thing is these moderate Muslims who say, well, we're moderates, it's those fundamentalists you have to watch out for, they're knowingly playing to a Western ear for sympathy and for affirmation. And the Islamic world just ignores them. Or even worse, they target them as traitors. Why are they targeted as traitors? because Islam admits no change. It hates change. It condemns the very notion of change from the original message of Muhammad. So Muslims who hold to the historic Islamic faith, they not only reject the Bible, but they reject moderate Muslims who want to change Islam. We'll talk more about it tomorrow.